The other day I played Dota, and it was the worst fucking thing in my entire life. When I think back on it, I like to think of it as a moment where I was broken in to Dota. I have about 2,000 hours in Dota, 2,100, about, around there, whatever. A good amount of hours in Dota, still suck at it. I cannot recall flaming somebody once in the game. To be completely honest, I typically don't like conflicts. I don't talk back to people. I hardly talk in games at all, or I used to. Until a couple weeks ago, I was playing Dota. I was playing Rubik, and I had an anti-mage in my lane, and that lane was actually it wasn't going bad. I mean, it was just a very boring lane. There was no kill potential either way. The thing is, at mid, it was our Invoker versus an enemy Pudge. And if you know anything about Dota now, you probably know that Pudge mid is very unpopular now. People don't really pick it anymore. It's just not as good as if you. It's just better to have a Pudge to roam now, and there's a lot of other mids that can do the job better than a Pudge. So, I'm sitting at bot. It's a very early game, and I see Invoker has given first blood to a Pudge. And I said, okay, I guess he just doesn't know. I don't say anything to him yet. What I figured happened is that he just didn't know that, Pudge has a skill like Rot that's actually kind of dangerous early game, and if you sit in it, you'll probably die. My guess as to what happened is that Pudge pressed W and walked up to Invoker, and Invoker actually died. So, that's what I'm thinking. And as the game is going on, bot is boring as fuck. It's still very early game. Like, he dies again, he dies a second time, and I'm thinking, okay, I guess that kind of makes sense because he already gave first blood. Probably got bamboozled by a hook. So, but I don't say anything because, mid can be hard. The nerves can get to you, I guess. After you give that first blood, you can tilt pretty easily. He dies a third time, and he pings at me and starts giving me shit for not warding mid. And I say, excuse me, hold on. How is warding mid going to help you at all if this Pudge just pressed W? This Pudge just pressed W, toggled on Rot, walked up to you, and you actually fucking died? Wards will not help you with that. Also, it was the morning time, so you have that morning vision over the stairs at mid, so you know if he's just gonna walk up to you. It's not like he caught you by surprise, was it? I wish I could bring up the replay, but I can't download it. But anyway, so I'm yelling at this Invoker, I'm saying, how is Ward's gonna help you if you're just getting walked at by this Pudge, and he's actually killing you? And all he's saying is, oh, this support is so bad. This support needs to ward more. And it goes on and on for a few minutes, and then I finally decide, okay, you know what? Maybe he's right. He's probably right. I don't know what happened at mid exactly, so I'm gonna put a ward down. So I put a ward down. Pretty good ward, if you ask me. And you know what happens? Do you know? No, you don't, and that's why I'm about to tell you. Invoker walks past the river, up the stairs, and then he gets walked at by Pudge again, but this time he runs up. He runs up this way. He runs up this way. And he walks into an enemy support that he should have seen coming because I warded it. So he dies. He dies for a fourth time. And he pings me again. He pings me again and says, why didn't you teleport? He says this support is always at mid, even though that's the first time he's been mid. And I snap. I snap again, and I tell him, yo, where am I going to teleport? You're all the way up here. If I teleport, you're too far away for me to support you. You were dead anyway when you walked up the stairs. Why did you run up? Why didn't you just run straight back to the tower? You would have been safer that way. You wouldn't have run into Lion or who. Yeah, it was Lion, I remember. Lion was the support that walked up, and he just died. Walked right into his loving arms and just killed himself. And I was livid. I was so mad. Because this guy is clearly not aware of anything that's going on around him. He clearly does not know how to play against a Pudge on Invoker, and he's pinning that on me. He's pinning that all on me. That he had no wards at mid. He couldn't. I don't know. He was just complaining about he didn't have wards at mid. He needed to find something. Something to pin on somebody else because he can't fathom the fact that he's shit at this game. That's about what I told him. And he wasn't very happy. And I was just saying before I was flaming the shit out of him, I was saying this guy's adorable. This guy has such a soft sounding voice over the mic, you know? He seems kinda shy. He doesn't know exactly what he's doing. But no, you know what? I was wrong. This guy ended up being the most Dunning-Kruger piece of shit that I've ever met. Take it from me. Take it from me that this guy was the most Dunning-Kruger idiot that you could ever possibly run into in a game of Defense of the Ancients 2. It got so bad. I'm not just gonna solely blame Invoker here. I'm gonna take some of the blame too, that I tilted the shit on my own team by flaming the fuck out of this Invoker. I'll take that blame. It was pretty bad. Our anti-mage who was farming kinda well, and our Abaddon at offlane who was dying to a Bloodseeker, that's a different story. And so, I flamed this Invoker so hard that Abaddon left, and anti-mage also left. After Abaddon had fully abandoned the game after 5 minutes, after leaving, anti-mage left, it was just me, Legion Commander, and Invoker. It was just me, Legion, and Invoker, and he was still talking about how we would have won the game if he had any wards mid. And I was telling him, don't you fucking start with me. I can tell you all about how you just got walked at by this Pudge. But I'd just be repeating myself at that point. And so the game goes on, and I'm out of energy. I can't flame this guy anymore. I'm tired. I've ran out of things to say. It's not even funny anymore. This Invoker just clearly doesn't know, like, fucking anything. And he's pinning that on me. And now that you think about it, there is nothing funny about it. It's kind of tragic when you realize there's people like that who just are literally incapable of seeing the mistakes in their own play that they have to pin it on somebody else. But at that point, I would just be rambling about every experience I've had with everybody ever in a Dota 2 pub. And I don't want to do that. I only want to tell you about this particular experience I had with this Invoker. That is the story about the first person I've ever flamed in any video game ever. And that's pretty much it. See ya.